challenging has your job been with kind of the uncertainty with your kicking situation with COVID and everything? It seems like there's now light at the end of the tunnel, but for you
Right.
there's some uncertainty.
Yeah, it's almost commonplace now. It's like, okay, who's next? So it's like, all right, Jose, you're up, and there's nothing you can do about it. So all you can do is next man up, and let's go to work. I think we knew Ryan had enough time to get back. Obviously, so if it happened in a day or two, it'd be a different story. You know what I mean? But he came back, had a nice day yesterday, and did a good job. Came outside and kicked after practice, and was consistent. Times were down, and really came back. And I think he may have missed one field goal in practice yesterday. So he had a good period.
You sometimes are the arbiter of the last few spots on the roster, right?
Yes.
Down to it, like, who do you want, right?
Right.
So you have a guy like D. Delane,
Right.
that been with four other teams.
Right.
On this football team, it's a hard team to make. What was it about him that got him on this team?
I think it was with the Tennessee game. There was a rep in there where he was in there versus their starting vice. We were punting, and he was playing the right gunner, and he went down, beat the vice outside, came back in, took the vice on again, split him, and made the tackle. And it was like, okay, it was an extra effort play. He could have easily have given up, but he tried. We call it finish twice. He beat the vice at the line, beats him again downfield. They shove him past the ball. He gets up and comes back, makes the tackle. So you're like, all right, I can't coach that. You know what I mean? So that, when you see pictures like that, you're like, okay, that's what I'm looking for. So he proved it on film.
Did you know then that, all right, I got to have this guy?
Well, you'd like to see another one. You're like, okay, I'm a coach. You're greedy. You know what I mean? That's once. Now, can you do it again? And he shows up in some other areas. Kickoff return, he did a nice job. When we were on punt return, he did a nice job. Great attitude. Anytime you ask a guy to do something, he's willing to do it, wants to do it. So, he's got some maturity to him, which is big.
Keith, as you guys try to upgrade your return game, just want to see what you've seen and what you like about Darden.
Wow, he's sudden. The speed, but sudden and the lateral quickness. He can make the first, the second, maybe even the third man miss. He does a really good job. He catches the ball well. You would love to have seen him manage some more situations. He's never had to make a Peter call. We either caught it, returned it, or fair caught it. But you never saw, he did a good job in plus 50. He had some plus 50 situations. So you never really saw him catching it at the 2, the classic rookie stuff, which you're like, okay, when's it coming? Because I know it's coming. You know what I mean? So you'd love to have seen that happen already. And you know what I mean? So the things that you haven't seen are when he's had the ball off the first bounce and had to field it. Do I field this ball, all right, this short punt, or do I take it off the second bounce? Well, we really don't play with the ball off of the second bounce. So just managing the game back there as a punt returner is where he's going to grow. And the only way to do that is to put him out there, and you got to go through it. But he's never had to go over and Peter tell his two vice guys who were blocking for him to get off of that gunner and get out of bounds. Those are the type of situations where the ball hits them. Now it's a live ball. He hasn't had to do that yet. But in terms of his ability, great kid. Always comes up and meets with me all the time. He's going to be a good returner.
Coach, we've seen rookie Joe get some reps in training camp and in the preseason games. How's he looked in that area?
Joe's looked good. Looked really good. Obviously he's going to jump out. He's got great length. Pump protection's obviously where I always critique people at the most. He's done a nice job in the protections. Now, we're not getting a lot of rushes, twists, stunts, and this, that, the other thing, but he's done a really good job for us. Everything you ask him to do, he's smart. I think he's going to be a good player. I know this. He shows up. He's the first guy out in coverage, and it wasn't like he cheated or skipped out. He took care of his man, got rid of his man, and the kid can flat out run. I mean, he's first-round pick that's doing a nice job. But you wouldn't know he's a first-round pick when you talk to him. He's a humble kid.
The players will vote on captains, obviously, but for you, when you think about your core players, your leaders on special teams, who do you think
Well, it's going to sound crazy. Trenner runs a lot of meetings, extra meetings, where we meet on pump pressures and stuff like that behind closed doors. Kevin Minner's a guy that's a vet that's good with the guys, meeting with the guys. Mickens does a good job. And then, in fact, he's back now, Andrew Adams. You know what I mean? So you look at those guys, those are the guys that they'll echo my message, you know, so, you know, we get limited meeting time. So obviously, you know, they're going to run a personal meeting off on the side. And those are the guys that usually run those meetings. So, and I don't go check on them or anything, but they'll come tell me what's going on, who was there, who wasn't. But yeah, oh yeah. You got to have your guys. But that would be the crew.
It won't happen at home necessarily, but you played in cavernous stadiums with no noise on the road last year.
Yeah.
Which I gotta imagine is an advantage.
Yes.
So you're back to square one. So how do you think communication? That's
Yeah.
critical, right?
Yeah, hand signals, and, you know, thank God we're home. But it's still, I mean, even when it's just, there's no one yelling or screaming, just the natural noise, it's like, guys we can't even hear on the sideline. It's like, what'd you say? And guys always come talk to the headset ear. I'm like, you do realize I got a headset on that ear. I'm already hard of hearing, and I have a headset. Say, get over here. All right, so then I can actually hear what you're asking. So, no, but it's tough. So we got to get back to the hand signals and that type of stuff. And, but the noise, you know, obviously it's usually for punt, field goal, that type of stuff. But, you know, kickoff return, punt return, all that type it's fine. But yeah, it's back.
I know pre-draft, Coach Arians had said that a big point of emphasis this offseason was going to be improving special teams, and you guys certainly devoted a lot of
Yep.
draft picks to that. How do you feel like you guys were able to improve on special teams this offseason?
Well, I think, you know, obviously with Britt, Stewart, you know, Tryon, okay, and then Darden, you're sitting there saying, okay, you got 4 guys there. So the young guys, you know, they're learning as we go, but they've done a great job, and they've made a big jump from OTAs to the end of training camp. So they're starting to communicate, they're starting to speak out, you know, starting to talk out loud, make calls. So they're starting to get comfortable, which is good.
Grant told us, you know, when I was at Houston, the University of Houston, effort was enough on special teams. It requires a little more at this level, so he must be a quick study.
Yeah, smart. He's smart. You've got to be smart. Obviously, instincts are a big part, all right, but you've got to be a smart football player because a lot of it is leading player, trailing player. So he goes here, I'm going here. So you have to know how to play off of each other. We make certain calls. There's more to it than just go run and go hit. You know what I mean? And there's more to it in college out as well also, but he's learning the scheme. There's some things that obviously he's going to have to learn on the run, but those guys, they're sharp. They both he and Britt come and meet with me all the time, so they're doing a good job.